All right, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about a visitor to our solar system. But this is no ordinary visitor. This is something so strange, so out of place, that it's forcing us to ask some of the biggest questions you can possibly imagine. So picture this. It's July 2025, and a telescope named Atlas spots something new. Something that doesn't belong. Pretty soon, it's confirmed. This thing is the third interstellar object we've ever seen. That means it came from a completely different star system. And its name? 3I/Atlas. Now, this thing wasn't just strolling through the neighborhood. No, it was absolutely screaming through space. We're talking 60 kilometers per second. That's just mind-bendingly fast. So fast, in fact, that astronomers have a special term for it: dynamically extreme. This thing is a total outlier. Okay, so we've had interstellar visitors before, right? You probably remember Oumuamua and 2I/Borisov. They were weird, for sure. But just look at how 3I/Atlas compares. Its eccentricity, that's basically how stretched out its path is just off the charts, way higher. And the amount of material it's shedding, it's losing an absolutely enormous amount of stuff as it flies. I mean, we're talking orders of magnitude more than the others. This thing is truly in a league of its own. So all of this strangeness leads to one massive, unavoidable question. What is this thing? And this is where it gets really interesting, because the answer you get, well, it completely depends on who you're talking to. All right, let's start with the first major scientific theory, and it's a big one. The idea is that this visitor isn't just a random rock, but the solution to a puzzle that's been bugging astrophysicists for decades. It's a really elegant idea, and it might even rewrite the story of how our own world came to be. You see, for a long time, our best models of how planets form have had this really annoying glitch. We've got the first part down pretty well, tiny dust grains clumping together into little pebbles. But after that, we kind of hit a wall. And here's the problem, laid out perfectly. The pebbles collide and form boulders about a meter wide. But then, what? According to all our simulations, these boulders don't just gently stick together to get bigger. Nope. They either smash each other into dust, or they just bounce off. It's this critical roadblock, this meter-sized barrier that has completely stumped scientists for years. But what if nature has a kind of cheat code? This is where Professor Suzanne Faltzner's incredible idea comes in. She's proposed that maybe, just maybe, objects like 3I/Atlas are basically pre-made planet seeds just wandering through space. They're already big enough to have enough gravity to pull in all those smaller pebbles and boulders without shattering. They let the whole process just skip right over that pesky meter-size barrier. So think about what this means. These interstellar objects wouldn't be intruders at all. They'd be builders. They'd be the missing ingredient that allows planets to form way faster. This could explain how we see some giant planets out there that seem way too young to exist under the old models. It's an amazing idea. Ancient stars seeding new solar systems across the galaxy. It even suggests that our own Earth could have an interstellar heart. Okay, so that's the scientific case. It's elegant. It solves a problem. But there is a very different, and let's be honest, far more provocative take on all this. Some scientists argue that trying to cram this object into our existing boxes is a huge failure of imagination. And this quote from astrophysicist Avi Loeb just says it all, doesn't it? The elephant is a zebra without stripes. His point is, if all you've ever studied are zebras and you suddenly see an elephant, you might try to describe it in terms you understand. Oh, it's just a big gray zebra with no stripes. But you'd be missing the point entirely. Sometimes an anomaly isn't just a weird version of something familiar. Sometimes it's something completely new. And Loeb says the sheer number of weird things about 3I/Atlas forces us to consider that new category. Let's break it down. First, just based on statistics, an object this large should only show up once every 10,000 years. Then there's its path. It's lined up almost perfectly with the plane of our planets. That's a 1 in 500 shot. Its chemical makeup is strange too. Super high in nickel, low in iron. Kind of like some industrial alloys we make. And finally, its trajectory is almost ideal for a mothership to swing through and drop off smaller probes to check out all the planets. So you add all that up, and it leads Loeb to ask this really radical question. Are we just looking at a weird space rock, or are we looking at a piece of alien technology? Something designed and sent here on purpose, maybe to check us out, a true message in a bottle from another civilization. Now, we're going to take a huge turn from science and speculation to something much, much older. Our final interpretation leaves the observatory behind and steps right into the world of prophecy. It connects this visitor from the stars to one of the most famous and, frankly, most ominous passages ever written. If you know the book of Revelation, you might know this. When the third of 7 angels sounds their trumpet, a great star blazing like a torch falls from the sky. The name of that star is Wormwood, and where it falls, it turns a third of the rivers and springs to poison, making the water bitter and killing many who drink it. And that name, Wormwood, is really important. In the Old Testament, it's not just a plant. It's a powerful symbol for poison, for extreme bitterness, and for divine punishment for sin. It represents a kind of deserved, bitter consequence. It's incredibly powerful imagery, right? And people have been fascinated by this prophecy for millennia. But the name itself, Wormwood, holds one final, absolutely shocking secret, a linguistic twist that connects this ancient text to our own time. The Ukrainian word for the plant we call wormwood is Chernobyl. Yeah. After the 1986 nuclear disaster, this connection became impossible to ignore. A modern catastrophe, poisoning the land and water, shares its name with the biblical star of bitterness and death. It's a truly chilling link. So, let's step back. We have a planet seed, an alien probe, and a prophetic sign from the heavens. 3 wildly different stories, all trying to explain the exact same mysterious object. How on earth do we make sense of that? Well, this is really the key to the whole thing. It shows us how we as humans process something we don't understand. Science looks for a natural explanation, a way it fits into the cosmic puzzle. Speculation pushes the boundaries, looking for signs of intelligence. And mythology looks for meaning, for a symbol. 3 different lenses, all pointed at the very same thing. Which means, in the end, the mystery of 3-Eye Atlas tells us way more about ourselves than it does about the object. It's like a cosmic Rorschach test. What do you see in that ink blot? The answer reveals your own beliefs, your hopes, your fears, and the current boundaries of human understanding. So what's the lesson here? It's that this whole mystery is actually incredibly valuable. It reminds us that science isn't about having all the answers. It's a process of debating ideas. It shows us how ancient myths can suddenly feel incredibly modern and relevant. And most importantly, it proves that it's when we're faced with the truly unknown that we're forced to push the boundaries of both what we know and what we dare to imagine. And make no mistake, 3-Eye/Atlas won't be the last of its kind. With our new telescopes, we're probably going to start finding these visitors every few months. So the ultimate question isn't just, what are they? It's what will we choose to see in them the next time one comes calling?